Hello everybody, my name is Alicia Valbuena. Today I'll be presenting about Texas third grade reading policy, specifically talking about the STAR test, the state of Texas assessments of academic readiness. The big question is, should one test decide whether a child moves forward in school? The reason why we're focusing on third grade is because that is when students begin taking the STAR exam. Let us first go over the Texas education policy. The purpose is to understand a third grader's reading proficiency as it will determine their future academic success. Assessing their reading level, providing early intervention to those who are struggling, and holding schools accountable are the reasons why the Texas education policy reflects the importance of third graders taking the STAR test. And the House Bill 4545 mentions that if a third grade student does not meet the appropriate score on the reading STAR, even if they miss the test, by law they are required to receive early intervention, which includes switching educators, attend tutoring, or repeating the grade. Again, if a student doesn't pass the third grade STAR reading test, they must receive 30 or more hours of early intervention or be impacted by repeating a grade. The goal of the Texas education policy is to ensure that all students meet the state standard in the subject and to be prepared for the next grade. With that being said, let us review the pros to the retention policy. STAR testing helps educators and the state determine where a student stands academically and their progress each year. An important pro to STAR testing is assessing schools, which can be an influence to funding the schools based off of testing results. The results can also close gaps in learning, assisting schools to get resources to improve on struggling objectives. Although STAR testing provides benefits of measuring progress and considers accountability, there are some challenges that are brought to the attention for students, teachers, and the community. STAR testing results could determine a student's ability to move on to the next grade, creating stress for the students and teachers. This also puts pressure on most teachers to focus on preparing on the test instead of creatively educating students. Another con of STAR testing is that this test alone does not reveal a student's overall skills, growth, or learning style. It also impacts communities because school reviews from STARs can sometimes and unfairly affect a community's reputation. What is also a disadvantage to a student is when they fail. They must retake the exam or they have to repeat a grade. After viewing the pros and cons to the Texas education policy, did your answer change about this one test determining a child's future academic success? Currently, some lawmakers and advocacy groups such as Raise Your Hand Texas are working towards reforming the STAR's power over schools. And of course, they are continuing to spread awareness during legislative actions. The Texas education policy is set to make sure that students meet the academic standards and are prepared for a successful future. And the STAR test is a great way to measure a student's abilities. It provides data to measure their progress and keep schools accountable of their students' success. Standardized testing can also put pressure and stress on third graders, including the teachers, preventing them to teach with creativity but rather instruct to prepare for the STAR. Holding accountability on schools and being flexible with the standards could redefine the Texas education policy. These are my citations for information, and these are for my images. Thank you.